Hey everyone, it is November 5th, 2025, and I just wanted to make a quick video to kind of update where I'm at in my healing procedure from a 2-level cervical fusion. Today is the exact day, 6 weeks out after surgery, and I'm finally feeling better. Oh my God, what an experience. I had way underestimated how intense the surgery was. I've got my neck brace on now, but I'm only wearing it temporarily. You can kind of see the scar here a little bit. But I kind of wanted to recap all the different things that I've been going through and how my journey has been going for some of you who are also have had cervical impingement, and kind of give you a little bit of information about my symptoms and where I'm at now, as I just started physical therapy today for the first time, outside of the stuff I've been given after the surgery. But to kind of put some context, back in the middle of July, actually July 14th, to be honest with you, I had an early onset, very intense onset. I had right hand pain, numbness, electrical pulses going through my right arm and down to my pinky and my ring finger. These two fingers were just resonating, just electrical energy coming through. There's like something's wrong, like, okay, there's a pinched nerve, something's not right, what do I do? It's probably gonna go away. I pushed it off for a long time, but then some of the other symptoms started coming in. I had, intermittent neck pain, slight to moderate headaches, night sweats. This was the weirdest thing. Severe night sweats, soaking sheets, sometimes on one side of my leg. So one leg was completely soaked, the other one was totally dry. What is that all about? I knew something was definitely wrong. The other thing is I had, I guess it's an autonomic, constant hyperarousal anxiety, this fight or flight panic attacks, anxiety, ruminations, grinding teeth, and just having this awful psychological experience that came with this neck thing. And I didn't put it all together for quite some time. A couple other things: I lost my appetite, lost 10 to 15 pounds within a matter of a couple of weeks. And my everything, libido was gone, major nausea in my stomach, discomfort that I've never felt before, just a weird, awful feeling in my guts. I even had a weird gait or balance issue where I felt like I almost hit a sign on the road when I was driving. Things were just kind of off. I just knew something was wrong. But anyways, I went in, got an x-ray, and saw that my vertebrae and my discs between the vertebrae were flattened out, and I was horrified. I had no idea it was that bad. So I then went out and got an MRI. The MRI came back and said that I had C5 to C6, moderate to severe right and mild left stenosis. I had moderate to severe stenosis in the C6 to C7, and then I had moderate bilateral stenosis in C7 to T1. And so the options were to do surgery where the fusion would be at 3 levels rather than 2, or 2 levels. And I decided to do 2 levels. I wanted to do disc replacement, but they said it was not FDA approved, and that because it's that close to the heart, I believe, is the reason why. So the only option was to do a fusion. So after I went to surgery, had the surgery, I came home, felt okay for a couple of days. After all the anesthesia wore off, it just hit me like a brick. Like, I was absolutely worse than I was before the surgery, with sweats, anxiety, stomach pain, discomfort. And I thought maybe they didn't get everything in my neck. They missed it. I had what would you call it? Thoughts of just catastrophizing thoughts. Just like, oh my God, they didn't get the surgery right. It didn't work. But it was really the swelling as part of the surgery that was still healing. And now I know. Now I know. After I finally got to the 3-week spot post-surgery, oh my God, I started feeling better. 4 weeks, oh my God, I feel better. And this week at week 6, like I think it's been a week now, I feel better than I have in years. And I'm starting to think that a lot of this problem has been going on for a really long time. And so, as far as my neck, it's stiff, but I'm starting to do a lot of PT, moving around. Things are feeling better. And I just want other people out there to know that if you're dealing with this, you're not alone. There's a huge connection between the body and the mind, and anxiety, depression, and how your body responds to things like this. And specifically when it comes to neck issues, there's good documentation out there from, I think there was a paper written by Dr. Hauser. I've also learned a lot about the central nervous system and what happens when you go into this anatomical response, this fight or flight, when you're stuck in that into a panic mode for all day long. It's not good. And if there's other people that have had that, maybe I'm only 1% of the population that have had stenosis in the neck that have had this happen. But if there's other people that have had it happen, I just want to let you know you're not alone. You're not going crazy. It's your body trying to tell you that something's wrong. And so I'm just really happy that I'm coming out of it. And I'm hoping to do another video maybe in a month or two to kind of let you know how I'm doing. I'm just finally getting back into the gym, feeling a lot better, stronger, getting back into life. And that's all I got. So thanks, you guys. Thanks for your support, everybody.
Hey guys, it is November 6th. I just did a video yesterday, November 5th. I wanted to add a few more items to my video because I was thinking back at some other important details that I want to share with all of you. So today's the 6th. I'm going in for my 6-week checkup post ACDF. I think it's called 3-level, where they're bringing 3 vertebrae together as one, eliminating 2 of the discs. Maybe it's called 2-level, I'm not real sure. But in any case, 6 weeks out, I'm excited to go in and tell them that I'm doing so much better. And I want to kind of emphasize for some of you that are in this journey, maybe you're 2 weeks post, after your surgery, just hold on tight and it's going to get better. You just got to get through it. So I want to talk a little bit about three topics that I missed in my first video, and one is symptoms. The first one will be symptoms. Some of the things that was coming on before this all happened in July, which is probably about 5 months ago now, is a heavy onset of problems with my hand, specifically these 2 fingers, and the resonating electricity and the jolts that were coming up through there, and when they actually happened. If I would turn my neck like this, I could turn that on and off like a light switch, and I knew there was something wrong there. The other thing is my handwriting. I noticed my handwriting had a weird signature and wasn't working correctly. Then I also noticed I couldn't wipe my butt. I was like having to go to my left hand because I didn't have dexterity in my hand. And I'm like, what the heck is that all about? Sometimes those symptoms might even be stronger than pain itself, because I've had a lot of broken bones in my body. I've suffered pain in different ways. And the pain wasn't as bad as some of the other weird symptoms, like the night sweats and the sweating and the anxiety and all the other central nervous system reactions that were going on. Some of the other weird stuff, grinding your teeth, you find yourself kind of like you just feel like something's wrong and you're kind of tense, stressed about something. That's another thing. When I separate that and look at those symptoms, I also try to figure out what are the activators. And for me, a lot of the activators were body positioning. And so if I'm looking at the screen and my head is tilted down and I'm looking down at it, it might be more activated with my arm and the impingement in my neck than it would if I was sitting up straight. If you imagine your head being, say, 15 pounds, maybe in my case, it's 10 pounds because it's full of air, just kidding. and it's moved over, you're putting a lot of torque on your neck, and that's pinching that nerve in your neck. And so maintaining posture is super important, and it helps you understand how sensitive those little call it nerves are that come from the spinal cord through the cervical discs, and how they're getting pinched and whatnot. And so how your body positions. The other one is, I can't stress it enough, is how you sleep. I always slept on my stomach, and after finally figuring out that I need to sleep on my back, I started wearing my neck brace every single night, and it fills the gap between my head and my back so that my head can't get cocked. When I was waking up in a pool of sweat and instant anxiety would kick in after I woke up, it was because my neck was cocked over the night, and my body was trying to tell me that something was wrong, and I didn't figure it out for a long time. So I want to make sure that everyone here knows, if you're going through it, how important it is to keep your positioning straight when you're going through the recovery process, and keeping your neck straight, sleeping on your back, getting a pillow to support your head. You'll wake up, I've waken up and just must have ripped my neck brace off in the middle of the night and not even known, but you have to just keep training yourself to keep your body position straight during the sleep. The other thing I want to touch base on is the healthcare system itself. I can't emphasize enough how we have to advocate for ourselves. So for example, I go to the doctor and I find out I have cervical impingement, and I tell them that I've got night sweats, anxiety, I've got gait issues, I've got stomach issues, depression, all these other things. And they say, hey, we can fix your neck, but we can't, it's not gonna help your night sweats. And I'm saying, are you kidding me? It's totally related. And in my mind, I'm like, is that true? Is that not? I don't know. But again, when I started doing my research and starting to read about it, especially when I'm sweating on one side of my body, how weird is that, right? I do enough research to advocate for myself to find out that it is a neurological disorder. There is a neurological problem. You know, there's a lot of things. The central nervous system is so powerful and so complicated, and that we just don't understand it as well as we should and could. I mean, people who have had Lyme's disease, who have had, problems with their central nervous system, how it attacks it, might experience some of these things. The point is that, how this relates from the body to the mind was very, very eye-opening for me. I've considered myself to take really good care of my body, but the old mentality growing up, I'm 53 years old now, was don't be a hypochondriac, walk it off. But the problem is when you do that, you're not listening to your body, you're not listening to your symptoms. And now my mentality is investigate, find out. Don't take things for face value. Know that doctors don't have all the answers. Doing research, doing reading, understanding. Because again, if I'm only 1% or 5% of the population out there that has had this weird neurological sweating, anxiety that comes along with cervical impingement or cervical instability, well, so be it, but it's still real. You got to advocate for yourself. You go to the doctor and you might get to spend 10, 15 minutes with the doctor. They're going to tell you something, then maybe write your prescription. You go to a psychiatrist, maybe you spend 10 minutes, they write your prescription, send you down the way. They're not going to go in and look deeply at what the root cause of your problem is. I hate to say it. You got to do it for yourself. You got to investigate yourself. How this all relates over to my third point would be for mental health. There's a lot of talk about mental health. There's a lot of talk about being more open about it. I have invested so much time in my life to try to understand and be healthy, mentally healthy, because I've battled with some of these anxiety flare-ups, depression flare-ups over the years. And I've gone after things from different things like CBT, call it, medications, just like regular therapy. I'm in a group called Face It, which I love it. It's phenomenal, trying to learn about how we can be, how we can show some vulnerability, how we can show exposure, how we can really get out there. Just like I'm making this video today, is being vulnerable and talking about things and really getting them out on the table, because connection is so important for this process. But when it comes to the physiological side, the new methodology, and I want to put a special plug out there for Amanda Armstrong at Regulate and Rewire. I jumped onto her podcast and I was blown away at learning about my body, about my mind, and that connection, and knowing that sometimes the central nervous system is trying to tell you something and it doesn't know how to tell you, and so it comes out in physical things. And so how you respond to that is so important. A big takeaway for me was that when you're having a panic attack, okay, or you've got a constant sense of anxiety, the prefrontal cortex is just going to shut off. It's not going to work. The CEO is not going to be able to help you figure out what your problem is. You start looking at it. What's the point? What's the smoking gun? Where's my problem? Why am I feeling this way? It's because of this. It's because of that. It's because of a relationship issue. It's because of my financial issues, because of this. It might be because of your body. A lot of times, 80% of the time, there's something going on in the body that's triggering your central nervous system and causing these flare-ups with anxiety. And I think Amanda has hit it straight on the head by saying, hey, don't think you're going to outthink your panic and your anxiety attacks, because when your prefrontal cortex is turned off, it's asking you to go do something else. It would be like trying to bring a vice grips out and take a lug nut off of your tire. You're using the wrong tool. So there's no tiger in the room. You need to get up and move. Her ability to educate on this free state, this moderated state, this green zone, yellow zone, red zone is unbelievable. The podcast I've gone through, half of them so far, and learned so much about how my central nervous system works and how that affects all these things. The other thing I want to say specifically is Dr. Hauser. I want to throw a shout out to him as well. He has done a great job at publishing a paper on cervical instability, cervical impingement, and how it can affect you with anxiety, sweats, appetite, depression, mood swings, and all the things above. And so I find his education, videos, and papers to be very helpful. Again, this might be a small portion of the population, but it might not be either. It might be a lot of people out there suffering that just don't know which way to turn. And him going out there, showing some vulnerability and putting his face and helping educate people has been very, very helpful for me and for maybe some of you as well. And so with that, I want to say, keep hanging in there, keep working it, keep investigating. I want to throw a special thanks out to my son, Jeff, for his support. Rob, my buddy, Cindy, Marshall, Brandy, my Face It crew, all the care providers, my friends, my family, and all of you that have helped get me through this incredibly challenging event in my life. I mean, I'm feeling so much better, and I'm looking back and finding all these times in the past that might be related to my neck, including like 2 or 3 years ago. It's just insane. I feel better than I probably have in years. And so that's all I wanted to say. Thank you so much, everyone. And good luck with your healing and your journey.